Welcome back to the LangGraph series. In the last video, we talked about why we're moving from LangChain to LangGraph, and today we're taking our very first step into it. So imagine you have a chatbot that takes some input, let's say a name, and then it needs to process that information step by step be- before giving a response. So in LangChain, we'd probably just call a function or a chain directly, but in LangGraph, we think differently. We treat our program as a graph, a flow of states moving through connected nodes. Each node represents a specific action or step, and the state carries data as it moves through those steps. In the example that we'll be doing, our state is just a collection that holds a single key, which is messages. Think of it as a small memory that keeps track of whatever our chatbot knows at the moment. Then we will define a node, a simple function that takes this state, modifies it by adding a friendly greeting, and then returns the updated state. That's all a node does. It only transforms data. Next, the graph connects the dots. So we say when the process starts, go to this node, execute it, and then end the process. It's like drawing a mini flowchart. Start, then do something, and then end. So when we run it, LangGraph automatically handles the execution. It passes the state through the node, updates it, and gives us the final result. The output you see isn't just a printed message. It's the outcome of data flowing through structured logical graph. And that's the beauty of LangGraph. You're not just writing code anymore. You're designing a process. A process that's visual, controllable, and scalable. So in the upcoming videos, we'll slowly build on this foundation, adding more nodes and more edges and eventually intelligent choice making to our graph. So stick around because this simple example is just the beginning of how LangGraph turns logic into flow. So let's go to the example now. So I'll be creating a new folder here and then I'll call it LangGraph. And then inside this, I'll create my first file. So basic graph.ipynb. Will do this in the notebook format here. Okay, so first of all, I need to install LangGraph here. So LangGraph, let me run this. And then once LangGraph is installed, we're ready to build our first graph here. So from typing, import typed dict and dict dict. We'll run this and then select the interpreter here. Python environments, and then our recommended interpreter is this one. So as you can see, it can run the interpreter. Okay, I'd also like to import from langgraph.graph, import state graph, start, and then end. Okay, this is going to be our first import here. Okay, our first cell is running. Now I'd like to create a class called my message state, which will have a type dict as inside it. So inside this, I'll have a simple message that will be in the string format. Then after this, what I'm going to do is I'm now going to define my graph directly here. So my graph will be from state graph. And then inside this, I'm going to pass my class that I've just created. So I'll add nodes to this graph. The first node will be, we need to provide a string name to this, let's say initial, and then provide a function here. So greeting node. Okay, so this particular function needs to be implemented on top of this. Let's write down this function greeting node. This is always going to have this parameter of this class that I've just created, and then it is going to return the same class that we have now. Okay, what does this do? This is a simple node that adds a greeting message to the state. Okay, so let me write state, or basically update the state here. So up until now, this is all empty. Now I'm updating this. So I'm writing hello plus, sorry, hello plus state message, whatever we have in message, plus, and then maybe give full stop and welcome to LangGraph. Okay, so this is going to be my function, and then I've already added it as a node in my graph here. So we only have one node for now. Now we're going to add edges to this node. So graph dot add edge. It is going to, at first we'll start, the first flow is going to be, or the first edge is going to be from start to this particular node here, which is initial. And then after this, I'm going to add another edge from initial to end. So we'll only have one single node for this particular code here. So I'm going to compile this. So to compile, we only need to do bot equal to graph.compile and then run this. Okay, so we have some error. I think it's some spelling mistake here. So this should have been initial. Let me run this again. Initial, right? Okay, this is wrong here. So initial. Okay, our graph is compiled. If you want to print this, you can also directly run bot, and then you can see that we have one single node. We begin with the start part, then the process flows through the initial node, and then it goes to the end. So this is our basic graph workflow in LangGraph that we've created. So now, in order to invoke this graph, what we need to do is we simply need to invoke this bot object that we have, and then we need to pass something here. We'll pass messages and then pass our channel name, learning hub here. And then we'll print our response. So what happens here is, at first, the initial state in this particular variable contains this string called learning hub. Then it moves to greeting node, and then along with that learning hub, the state is now updated to this complete message here, and then basically what we get in the end is that particular complete content that we have processed. So if we run this, okay, something is wrong here. So message or messages, let's see, message, state message. Let me just see if I've done any kind of spelling mistakes here. Okay, so this must be message. Okay, so if you see the response, then you can see, okay, why is it only showing just one response here? I have invoked bot, right? Something that I've not done here is return state, because it should return the updated state here. Let me run this again. And then if I run this, so it adds some new text as per the process function or the greeting node function here. And then it gives me the response. So this is a very simple implementation of our graph flow or our workflow using our graph here or using LangGraph. So I hope you understood the concept of LangGraph, and then how it varies from LangChain. So I'm going to end the video now. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below and I'll try to help you out, and I will see you in the next video again.